Welcome to the Unstoppable Real Estate Agents Podcast. I'm your host and real estate productivity expert, Kim Hughes. Join me as we focus on real strategies and implement real solutions designed for you to achieve major success in your business and life while getting you organized. Hi, everybody. It's Kim Hughes. And as we close out a great year, let's start thinking about what we can do that we can be better at and what we need to implement to make 2023 a better year. So get a piece of paper and a pencil and jot down some of these tips and let's get started. So the first thing that we want to talk about is just write down everything. Just kind of brain dump it. Everything that you have done in this past year. I know the first part of the year was probably a little more crazier and you had a whole different strategy with your real estate business opposed to the last few months of the year. So the thing that I want you to start writing down that you feel you can be better at, I should say, would be, do you do cold calling? And what does that script look like? What does that conversation look like when you make that phone call? Can it be tweaked? Can it be better? What do you think could be done to be more successful to convert some of these calls into solid leads? And then let's take a look at your listing procedure. So you've made the phone call, you've got the appointment. Now what are you going to do? So take a look at this because this is a very important part of your process of taking on a new listing, especially when you're trying to impress the seller of all the things that you have to offer to market their listing and bring them a solid buyer. And then we want to look at maintaining an organized database. Now, everybody knows me. I am all about the databases. It's like, let's get it organized. Let's get a system, an action plan on how you're going to handle and manage your database, regardless of what CRM system, whether you have a CRM system or not, which I'm hoping you do, but I know a lot of agents don't. Just look at it and say, how can I be more organized with it so that I can touch more people and create better relationships with the people that I have already either listed their home, sold their home. What does that look like? What does that database look like? So let's kind of look at that and clean that up. And then do you ask for referrals? You should be asking for referrals from everybody you know. They should just be coming in if you've been in the business for a while and you've established a real good database of referral clients. So how do you ask a past client for a referral or a friend or a family member or, your insurance agent or your bank officer? Build these relationships and so that you don't have to ask for referrals. They just come naturally from these people to you, but you've got to start somewhere. So let's start with how do you feel that you are doing in this area? And make a note of what you're not doing and what you are doing, and then we'll compare those. And then your client interaction, when you have a new listing, how do you interact with your new seller? How do you interact with your buyers? After the sale, once the contract is closed, what are you doing for a past client system? This is probably one of the most powerful things in your business is a past client system. So if you don't have one, this would be something I would highly recommend that you focus on for 2023. And if you do have one, then how can you make it better? What can you do? If you can make it better, what can you do? Then looking at your business interaction. And what I mean by this is how do you interact with other businesses in your community or in your market area? Do you reach out to them? Do you include them in anything that you're doing? Could it be that you might have a mortgage lender at an open house? Could it be that you could take your insurance agent out to lunch and learn all the latest things on home, owning home insurance? And build these relationships with them, meet with your local businesses, your landscapers, your painters, your electricians. These are people that you should have in your arsenal of vendors so that when your buyers and sellers are asking you for recommendations, you have it. You want a strong database of recommendations. And so that way, when you recommend that electrician or that plumber, they recognize that, and then they're sending business back to you. So this is an area that a lot of agents forget about. That's a great referral database, is going to your local businesses and building those relationships. So kind of make a note of what you're doing now and how we can be better at that, because this is an area that a lot of agents just kind of don't think about. Your expenses. So let's take a look. Go back and look at all of your credit card statements and see what programs you're using and which ones you're not. And if you haven't touched that program in at least 3 months, you probably need to do away with it. If you're not using it, save the money to put it towards another area of your business that you can enhance, which could be your marketing. So take a real hard look at those expenses from this past year and see where you can, modify that budget a little bit better and be more aware of where your money is going. And then, of course, there's always social media. It changes constantly. So we always want to make sure that when we are looking at our social media, are we doing the latest and the greatest? It doesn't mean you have to do it. It just means, are you aware of it? So do you know how to do a video? Do you know how to do a reel? Do you know how to like another page and another business and comment and things like that? These are the little things that you've got to be consistent with. Consistency is the winner in everything. So take a real hard look at your social media. And I'm going to give you the ones that I think are the most important, which would be Facebook, Instagram. Your LinkedIn is very important, and your Pinterest is equally as important. So take a look at those 4 and see how you're using them and how your interaction is with your audience. And you can look at your statistics and everything, and then have a plan of how you're going to be better at that come the new year. And then write down everything you did that you feel confident with. What were you feeling very successful in your business? And then look at it and say, this part of my business I kind of lacked. I kind of took a back seat on it. So now we need to put it all together. So kind of look at everything in your business. Could be the littlest detail. Is your database organized on your phone? A lot of agents don't have that. So you might want to sit down, go through your phone. And if you have a phone number, but you're not sure who it belongs to, then look at who does it belong to and create a contact for them. So I know these are little things, but believe me, the little things add up. And when you add them up and they're all organized and they're all successful, then you're a win-win, So you just need to remember that not every part of your business is going to be 100%, but we can always strive for that. So now let's compare the 2 lists, and then let's stop and be thankful for all those wins. Those wins came hard and we worked hard to get them. So you want to recognize all your wins and pat yourself on the back and say, you know what, I did a great job. But then you want to sit down and look at all the things that need to be modified so that you can be better at. So take a look at those. You're going to have 2 lists. You're going to have your wins and what I can do better. And then you're going to focus on how you can take the ones that you can be better at and put a strategy in place that helps you go to that next level. And if you're looking at your wins, look at those wins and say, you know what, this is what I did to get that win. So now how can I take it further? So you can always take a win and make it better. And then that way that'll set you up for success as well. So we have to remember that, we're coming off a couple of years of, this amazing momentum. So by putting certain areas of your business on the back burner is fine. But now it's time for you to focus. So you're not as busy, maybe. I know some markets are still kind of busy, but you're probably not pulling your hair out, right? So this is the time to take that and look at everything, because being an entrepreneur is part of running your business. Now, if you're a solo agent and you're doing it all on your own, you should not be doing it all on your own. There's plenty of help out there. So what I always say is, reach out to me. We'll schedule a call. We'll talk about what your goals are. If we can help you, great. If we can't, we'll let you know, but we might be able to recommend you to somebody that can. So I'm all about the networking. It's all about, if I can't help you, there's somebody else that can, and we're going to find that person. But if we can help you, then, that's a win-win situation right there. So some of the things that I want you to focus on, this is a big area of agents that I've talked to lately, and I've probably mentioned this before in my podcast, but these are areas that are very important to your business. Doesn't take a lot to do. You don't even have to do it. All you have to do is get somebody to help you do it. You just got to have the idea and then pass it on to the next person to have them create it, implement it, and then manage it. So some of the things that I'm going to mention here is create a monthly newsletter, create a past client system, create an expired listing system, and then create a social media strategy. And as you do these, batch them together. So, you've got to do a newsletter every month. What goes into that newsletter? What do you have to do to get that newsletter to be successful and get people to open it and give them relevant content to what's going on either in the market, in their neighborhood, whatever that may be. So not only do you need to focus on the business, but you also must focus on the personal things in your life so that everything is balanced. We can always throw ourselves into our work and forget that, we need to take a minute for our personal life. So, it's kind of one of those things where, you come in at the end of the day, and if you have a family, that family needs your attention. They don't need you just to be there. They need you to be 100% their body and mind, right? So I want you to kind of sit down and look at your personal life and then say, okay, these are some areas that I have some huge wins. And then these are some areas that I need to focus on and do better, be better with. So like I said, depending on your lifestyle, this is what's going to apply. Of course, if you are, if your children are grown and moved out of the house and you don't have to cook dinner every night, you don't have to do all those things that require when you have children at home, then you might be able to find another 30 minutes to focus on just you. And when I say just you, I mean just you. That doesn't mean, to schedule a lunch date with your husband or your partner or whatever. It means give yourself some me time. Some of those things could be, just go out to eat, go out and have dinner or lunch at a nice restaurant. Enjoy being with you and knowing who you are and what you want. And then you have no chatter going on to point you in a different direction. You can kind of get your feelings in check and go from there. Treat yourself to a massage. I mean, to me, everybody should have a massage at least once a month. Get together with your friends on a day out and go on a hike. Do things that are going to be beneficial. At the same time, you can get with your friends and do things. So kind of like what I recommend is, set a quarterly goal. Just do something on a quarterly basis for your personal and for your business. Some of the things that you could do for your business would be review your expenses and eliminate the programs you're not using, which I mentioned earlier. You should do that every quarter anyway. So just put it on your list for that quarter. Doesn't matter what month. Organize your database, organize your computer files. So if you're looking at your laptop or your phone, your files are probably everywhere. So get a plan in place, put a strategy together of how you're going to organize your laptop and your phone with files and how your apps are running and everything else. Because I guarantee you, if you sat down and looked at your phone, probably half the apps that you have on your phone, you probably don't need. So I would just delete them. If you haven't looked at them in 3 months, just get rid of them. And if you decide later you want it, you can always go back and download it. Okay. But these are just some of the ideas that I'm giving you for your personal and your business. Now, you better than I do. So just make a list. What would you like to do for yourself in every quarter? There's 4 quarters in a year. So if you gave yourself 1 day out of a quarter, that's not much, but it means so much to you with your mind and your body to get out and do something just for you. I'm one of these that I love to walk. So I live on a ranch. I have the place to walk. And so I do. I just walk a lot. That's where I can clear my mind. I can think about what I want. Half the time I don't even take my phone with me because I don't want to hear a podcast. I don't want to have anybody calling me or texting me or anything. I don't even want to listen to music. Sometimes I just want to get out, get some fresh air, clear my head. And then I come back and I'm rejuvenated to take on whatever I need to accomplish for that day. So hopefully, these will be some of the things that you can sit down and think about, and hope that it's prompted you to kind of reevaluate what you've done this year and how you're going to go into the next year. I think once you do that, you have a little bit better of a way of setting your goals. You have a little bit better understanding of who you are and what you want. Everybody wants something, so it's kind of like I was talking to a client this morning, and she was telling me that she had one CRM system and asked me what I thought about it. And I told her, I said, well, it's really not what I think about it. It's what you think. Does it work for you? And if it does, then stay with it. It doesn't matter 10 other people don't use it. It's what works for you, what works for your brain, what works for your heart and your mind, and, just get things going. So don't let other people influence you on what they're doing. It doesn't hurt to understand what they're doing so that you can look at the big picture. But at the end of the day, it's what's going to work for you. So you may not have the fanciest CRM system or the fanciest website that's out there, but it works for you. And as long as it's working for you, then stick with it. Just enhance it. The same client that I was just mentioning, she told me she keeps jumping around from website to website. And I asked her why. And she said, I don't know. I just do. That's just what I do. And I said, you waste so much time doing that. So stop doing it and enhance what you have. Let's take what you have and make it better instead of moving it, because it costs a lot of money to move. It costs a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of brain space. So don't do it. Let's just stay where you are and do what's going to be best for you. And when you do that, you will feel so much more relaxed and not have that, that fear of missing out on anything. So when these sales calls come in, you can say, no, don't need it, don't want it, not interested right now, but keep their information because you may want to later. Timing is just not right. So don't think that every sales call is going to be able to give you the miracle thing that you need in your business, because there's not. It's you. You're the miracle that's in your business. You know what you need to do. You know how to run your market. You know how to run your business and your personal life. So take in all the information you can, but at the end of the day, sort it out for who you are and what you want. So some additional things on a recap is, let's just schedule your work hours and your off hours. So you may say, you know what, I'll work until 6. And after that, I don't pick up the phone until tomorrow morning. Time blocking. Schedule time and answer emails and return phone calls so you aren't stopping every few minutes and finding yourself unable to complete all that other work or those tasks. That'll take a day right there. And then streamline your record-keeping system. Don't have files and your contacts all in different places. Have everything has a place. Let's put it there. So in other words, like if you have Dropbox, OneNote, Google, whatever that online storage, pick one, maybe two, but be very adamant about what you're using that program for. I want you to create some checklists that will help guide you. So you should have a checklist for everything you do in your business, or an action plan. I call them checklist action plans. So when you do this, you know exactly what's going on in your business. So if you ever had an emergency and somebody had to step in, you could give them your policy and procedure manual, because everything is going to be there. If you don't have a policy and procedure manual, I'm going to say that's your number one priority, is to create that. Of course, we can help you create that as well, because we do them all the time. But you do need to have one so that if something did happen, somebody can walk in, take over, not miss a beat. They know where everything is because it's all in the manual. Okay. And then go through all your papers, get rid of all that clutter. You don't really need paper files as much anymore. There's going to be certain files that you do need, but go through all that and let's get rid of it. Scan it, put it on your desktop, put it in your folders. What do you need to do with that to get that off of your desk? And I'm going to tell you what, I did that in the third quarter of this past year, and it was so rewarding to go through stacks of papers and think, I don't need this. It's already on my computer, so why do I have a paper? Get rid of the paper. and make a list of how your laptop is set up. So, for example, if you open up your laptop and there's a folder that says clients, I'm going to open up that folder and know that that's where all my current clients are. Okay. So, kind of do a strategy of how do you see your laptop working for you? This could mean any checklist, activities at home, in your business. So keep that in mind. When you have a transaction, what does that action plan look like? When you have a listing, what does that look like? When you have an open house, what does that look like? So, hopefully this is all going to help you get started and get you, organized and get you going in the right direction for 2023, because we're going to go into a new year and it's going to be a whole new world to look at. And so real estate is changing. As we all know, if you've been in the business for a minute, it changes constantly. We just have to keep up with what's going on and make sure we're ready. So if you have any tips that you would like to offer regarding this subject, please shoot me an email, kim@kimhughes.com, or you can post it on any of my social media. You can go to my website and look at some of the things that I've offered you there. If you need any checklist or anything like that, just let me know. Would love to have a conversation with you. And I hope this helps you out. I hope it helps you kind of get a focus on the new year and what's to come. And we look forward to seeing y'all next week. And you just go out and have a great day and a great holiday season. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you know someone, and I bet you do, who would appreciate this podcast, please share it with them. As a reminder, this podcast can be delivered directly to your favorite device by using the subscribe links you can find in the show notes below or over at unstoppablerealestateagents.com. Remember, it takes as much energy to wish as it does to plan. Have a great day.